was great and filled both my heart and tummy. Now, let's get into explorer mode. Before coming to Sarawak, I've done some research about this place, and as always, it's diary time to live this experience for a lifetime. Kuching is a hectic city with lots of cars and bikes moving these enormous people. Before you know it, I've reached my next destination, the Old Courthouse. While we are here, let me just explain to you briefly about the White Raja. White Raja is a monarchy system that was started by the Brooke family back in 1846. James Brooke was rewarded the Kuching province by the Sultan Brunei as a reward for assisting him in fighting piracy. And from there, it was handed down to other Brooke generations such as Charles Brooke, which was the second White Raja of Sarawak. There are many heritage treasures in Sarawak, especially in Kuching, dating back to the James Brooke era that are interesting to discover. One of it would definitely be the Old Courthouse, a place that hosted many historical events. The architecture of the courthouse is very distinctly colonial Baroque, flanked by the spacious and airy veranda and big pillars. The clock tower, which was built back in 1882. Initially, the old smoke house was only the building that's behind it, which was built back in 1874. But years later, they added this building and also the Charles Monument over there. If you're clueless or you have no idea where to next, why don't you just drop by at the Visitors Information Center to get some idea about this place. They might even hand you some brochures or even maps so that it will ease your travel in Kuching. I'm going to go and check it out. Mask on before entering the premises. Into Square Tower on your way out. For travelers not on foot, you can get to the Old House by walking along the Jalan Main Bazaar that faces the Kuching waterfront. Right now, I'm heading to the Chinese History Museum that is located only 450 meters from the Old Courthouse. So, according to the map, I'm currently here. It's going to take another 10 minutes of walking until I reach the museum. Ooh, souvenirs! Adjacent to the main bazaar is the oldest street in the city and the heart of Old Kuching. Kuching's highest concentration of antique and handicraft shops are to be found here. You can pandai-pandai bargain lah guys. I did not get anything because I did not want to burden myself as it was just the beginning of a very long journey. Finally, after a 10-minute walk from the Old Courthouse, here I am, and this is the Chinese History Museum. This museum exhibits all the early history about the Chinese community here in Sarawak, then this is the right place because they have all the early history of the Chinese community here, such as their migration from China history, their trading, and also their political involvement in Sarawak back then. A huge tip, guys! I would definitely suggest walking shoes or sneakers for this walks too. They could be very handy, and please keep your belongings safe as you never know, or as we say in Malay, malam tidak berbau. Oh yes, save the trouble and have a visit to the Visitors Information Center for a map and additional information. A trip to Kuching would not be complete without witnessing the iconic cat statue. One of my favorites, the selfie is a must! Oh no! We have reached the end of this first episode of Travel Like a Traveler from Phil to State of Borneo, and I would like to thank you all so much for staying with me until the end of the show. And yeah, I know it's sad, but I still have to say goodbye to the beautiful city of Kuching, as I will be continuing my journey to the next stop, which is, it starts with an S. So if you want to find out where I'm leading to next, don't forget to stay tuned as I see you again, and I promise you I will take you on a wonderful journey together. So this is Nabila Shkin signing off now. Bye!
Thank you.